Hey guys, Bolt here, and welcome to a video so Poppy Playtime has to be pushed off because all my notes aren't enough. So I've been having car troubles, I've been stuck at home, I've been dealing with a lot of other stuff, so I haven't had the chance to put all the time I need on that video. But I think I finished up chapters 1 through 3. I'm halfway through the AR, and then chapter 4, because it's recent, I can probably make notes a lot very quicker for that. So I think that's going to be next Friday's video. But based on this title, I'm going to be the ultimate Dragon Ball Daima hater. And I am going to explain everything. Because it's just, I don't care. You can suck on, just because Toriyama made this as the last thing, yes, rest in peace, but I don't care. This right here is just trash, and you could have done something better. So let's just go ahead and straight to the thing. Super Saiyan 4, or we have yet to finally make a proper name for this because they have yet to actually get an English dub for it, which is kind of dumb. You know, you'd think they want to catch the English up because that's also a major, money outlet. But anyways, we don't have the form name, but this is basically Super Saiyan 4. Straight up, I like that it looks like the Limit Breaker from Dragon Ball Super Heroes, but my biggest issue with the look, 1, you keep him as a kid. 2, you give him this his skin doesn't his fur doesn't go all the way up to the wrist like in Super Saiyan 4. It does a weird forearm thing, and that's just a gross look. Not to mention right here, this is I've noticed through the episode, it looks like his forearms and hands are gloves. They don't look like they're a part of his arm. Like here it looks all right, but here it looks like they're huge, man. Another thing I don't like is instead of I think I would have liked the clothing a little bit better if they left a blue belt here, kind of like either the Z wraparound or gave people the classic tails. But while I like the design, this is something that I personally can't get behind. Because 1, this is a 20 mini-episode series that is just tossed into this little time slot between Battle of Gods and Boo Saga. And now you're throwing that they went through this adventure. They were randomly turned into kids, which I'll get on that in a minute. And then you are throwing in such a major thing that a lot of fans love, and you're going to toss it away. You're going to crumble up this amazing idea and just toss it. So I think it was only a theory, and I think it was just a rumor, but we have yet to confirm, and I don't think we'll ever confirm. But Super Saiyan 4 was one of the looks for Super Saiyan God originally, or an altered version of it for Battle of Gods, and I think this is what hit finally getting through. Originally, it was a blonde look for it, but the issue with this is that now we have Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Ultra Instinct, Ultra Ego. You gotta somehow explain, if you want this to be relevant again, is explain how good it's going to be on top of the other transformation. And the problem is, you can't. Because in Battle of Gods and Resurrection of F, basically Goku said that God in Blue are the strongest he's ever been, in his strongest forms ever. And that means this new Super Saiyan 4 look is garbage versus those forms. And from what I understand from people who are trying to break it down, is this is supposed to be Goku's, similar to Gohan's ultimate state when Elder Kai releases his true potential. This is that Kami knockoff, releasing his primal instincts and like his true potential, and connecting him with everything that makes him Saiyan. But while that's cool and all, it won't. This is a one-off, and the problem is that he doesn't even win in this form. At the very end of the episode, they wash their hands of it. It's like, hey, here's a cool few-minute battle. All right, we're done. Did you like having Super Saiyan 4 in your lives? Anyways, but it's just so you can't. You're putting a Super Saiyan 4. Yes, it's cool to have it set up the way it is, but you ruin the design a little bit. You make it to where it's in a time slot. That means everything in Super is so much better, which Super Saiyan God, I think, it's a little lower than most forms. Like, I'm a big fan of Super Saiyan 3, and Super Saiyan 4, no one touches Super Saiyan 4 for me. But, I mean, yeah, I got Gogeta and Goku right there. I need to get a Vegeta, but, it's just God was a cool idea that they threw away very quickly, and now they use it as a reserve form instead of blue, and both of those forms are just useless. Super releases them just to get them knocked around with it. I think there's only those small wins with those forms. Like Resurrection of F, Goku gets pushed out of the battle by Vegeta. Vegeta loses to Golden Frieza, and the only reason they won that fight is because Whis was able to rewind. Super Saiyan God lost to Beerus. Hit, I think, was an alright-ish back and forth. You can't put Super Saiyan Blue in any of the others because, while they have weird powers, they're not as strong as Super Saiyan Blue. And then, Goku Black, Zamasu, Merge Zamasu, every big part of TOP just slaps them around as blue. Even, these two girls that just learned Super Saiyan like a few months back before this event started, just thrash Goku, who's a master martial artist and has all this training, and he's got more power and he's got more mastery over his forms. But once one or two of these female Saiyans just pop up and just smack him around, even as a Super Saiyan Blue and God. And it just, having Super Saiyan 4 underneath those in terms of power scaling just sucks. Going away from Super Saiyan 4 finally, Daima as a whole is just, no. I like the idea of going into this realm, the demon realm, that kind of, it's mentioned in Buu Saga because of Deborah, but, what GT did better was it wasn't just one place, it was all these other planets and learning, the universe, and that's why a lot of people like Supers, because there's a lot more aliens and stuff, but you don't focus on those, in Super. You kind of alright, we come here real quick to kind of fight with this one or two people, and that's it. Where in GT, you're stuck on a planet for an episode, and you're walking around the world. Well, yes, I'm not sucking off GT, but yes, every show, no matter how nostalgic you feel or how good you think it is, there are problems with every single show and movie you'll ever watch, because your taste are not the same as another person's taste. And even if you think is amazing, someone else will be but there's these problems. And that's kind of the same reason why I'm the biggest Daima hater, is it's a bad, you just throw a random time slot. You can't just make it a fun little, a kind of the end of Z time where they're just hanging around doing their own thing. learning more about themselves and more about the crew. No, you got to throw in an adventure that has all these amazing new things like bugs that can make fusions, but this never gets mentioned. It's just tossed in there to have them have something new. And then my biggest thing that I'm like fighting Daima fans. I don't care because people hate on GT for the things that they are functionally making Daima for. Hey, I don't like that fact that Goku got turned into a kid. How about let's turn the entire crew into kids? How about we just make it to where it feels like the Dragon Ball series, like the original? And like everyone's like, but Z's like the thing that everyone's into. What do you think Daima's trying to do? Oh, I don't know, looking for Dragon Balls, having the power pulled back, having Bulma a part of the cast again. Oh, I wonder what you're trying to do here. It's stupid that they hate on GT, but once Daima comes out and it's made by Akira Toriyama, it's the biggest thing that's ever come out of Dragon Ball. Is all I'm hearing. Well, yes, animation is amazing. That doesn't tell me that you're avoiding the problem, the situation of GT is very similar to Daima. I think GT just explores better, and this Goku time bullcrap. What do you think Dragon Ball is? They killed Goku in the Cell Saga, and Akira Toriyama himself that said that he wanted Gohan to be predecessor, but halfway through the Buu Saga, he's like, I can't keep Goku dead, so I have to bring him back by the end of it, and have to have him come back, because Dragon Ball is Goku, and Goku is Dragon Ball. You can't have one or the other. And Daima, a lot of people will probably argue, but there's Vegeta points, and there's this point. GT had that too. We walked away and had some Pan stuff, some Trunks stuff. We had them go back to Earth when they were still adventuring space, seeing Vegeta and all of them struggle with Baby and Super 17. It wasn't just Goku the entire time. There were moments for the other characters. And it's just, you can't constantly do, because this is a 90s, 80s series versus the thing that came out this year. It's just annoying to hear this thing be like completely praised, and then the amount of hate that, that GT, why I like it is because it is the very first anime I've ever watched. And then Yu Yu Hakusho was the second. But GT was my introduction, and just Super Saiyan 4 ever since then has just been the most amazing thing to me. But I had nostalgia goggles for the longest time, and then I rewatched it a few years back. And I'm like, okay, I can see where some people have problems, but yet it's like, it's a show. You're supposed to have fun. You're not supposed to look into it every little detail. Like, it's not the most perfect series. I'm sorry, but Dragon Ball's always had humor. Dragon Ball has periods of not fighting, and then, by the end of it, they do get into a fight that lasts a few episodes. Or, they're so strong that they can knock out an enemy very quickly as soon as they notice what their little niche thing is. It's what Dragon Ball is, and, like, it's just between Super Saiyan 4, you're using it, you're trashing on it, by making it useless versus Ultra Instinct, Ultra Ego, and all that. And the problem that I have with it is that Super Saiyan 4 is supposed to be the, intact to their DNA. This is something that makes you stand as a Saiyan. And then here they are imitating gods or deities or whatever. I'm not trying to... I'm religious, so I don't like saying God all the time. But, the fact that those things are something that you gain through a process that is not natural, because Super Saiyan 4 was just, all you needed was a tail, and you turned into a monkey, and as soon as you had a certain amount of level of strength, you became a Super Saiyan 4. where God, Super Saiyan God was, I think it was 5 Saiyans into 1. And then Blue was just you taking the God Key and the Super Saiyan and throwing them together, and there you go. And then Ultra Instinct is a technique, not a transformation. And I think that's what they're also putting Ego as, is that is technically the destruction technique, the Hakai technique, but it's used as a form. Because that's what Topo is he's using the Hakai, and he goes into his destruction mindset. So it's just, you're throwing away my favorite form. You make it look weirdish. You make it so useless versus the others. It'll probably never happen unless you throw in some weird thing to make it work, which will most likely happen for them to keep using the form, because they'll want to sell more figures and stuff of it. But it's just also just people loving that series but not the other, and it's all Dragon Ball. Yes, one is made by the studio, not the creator, but the creator still showed art and what he liked what Super Saiyan 4 was. And this is why he made sure Daima had it. But it's just, it feels like it's something that made me feel like you were just saying, oh, we can do GT and we can make it canon, but we're going to make it to where everything that matters doesn't matter in this series. We're throwing away all the good stuff, and the one thing you do is, because it's in a different time, it's tossed away, and then the things that a lot of people hated that series for, you're doing, and it's getting praised for. But anyways, it's just, aside from that, away from Super Saiyan 4, away from GT, it's also just, like, seriously, you sucking yourself off with the big bad being a Jiren ripoff. He does like the heat blast, where like it looks like a sun in his hand. He does that. It's so dumb. And you can't tell me those like things that protect the Dragon Balls. Those aren't. You can't tell me that's not Android Saga or Gamma 1 and 2 callbacks. Yes, the demon realm is cool to explore and all, but that's kind of a little, like, they don't, like, hit it on the head, but that's what Xenoverse and Dragon Ball Super Heroes does. It brings characters from the demon realm out. Toa being the sister of Deborah and all that. It's been done before. And, at this point, man, go ahead and rip off my Janemba and make everyone hate on that or love it by just someone someone with canon kissing it, and then wreck on Fusion Reborn all you want. So I think that's a problem, is that just once it's done in the main series, people forget that Dragon Ball has a multiverse, and that's what they kind of were keeping up with for the games, is GT still exists. That's why Xenoverse and Sparking Zero can use it. Because it is a part of another timeline where Goku never met Beerus. He did his own thing. He met Oob and did the whole GT thing. It's like something that I feel like this should have been another timeline or another multiverse, to kind of like put that stamp of approval of multiverse or timelines, so that GT can be, get my favorite anime out of your mouth. So the Gammas, the Jiren knockoff, the Kami knockoff, the Dragon Ball stuff, the GT stuff, the Super Saiyan 4. I think the only thing I will give this series praise for, except, it does look good for Super Saiyan 4 here and there on certain things. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is the only thing I'd say this series made me hype. I'm like, I really wanted to see. I really went and seen that episode as soon as I heard that it was a thing. But everything else, it's just, I don't care for it. There's love, there's good animation, but it's just, me as a Dragon Ball fan, it's just, it kind of hurts that, just because something is made a certain way, and it was the last series of the beloved creator, the criticism hasn't come in yet, or it won't, because of the amount of hype that is set around it. And another thing that I'm going to stop people before I end this video is the fusion bugs again. A lot of people are like, we need to get a Gogeta or a Vegito. I think they mention it. I don't know why they think it was a good idea to mention that, because Vegeta didn't want to do fusion with him for Vegito because they thought it was a forever fusion. And that's why, in Future Saga, it's such a big thing until Elder Kai, what is it, the 6 universes? Gowasu. Gowasu explains that it's got to be someone with a Supreme Kai to make it forever. But Gogeta, he isn't born until Dragon Ball Super Broly. He doesn't have a name. So him going into existence and was like, my name is Gogeta. Unless you're just saying he existed before and he was in such a hurry that he didn't give himself a name. But the thing is, Piccolo he's never saw it at that point. What would you call you guys selves? He would have said something there. So you got to retcon a lot of stuff to make this stuff come back, or use stuff that is supposed to be never used until a certain point. I think it's either going to be Goku with another character, or it's going to be, they're going to do some Dragon Ball fusions and make it to where, because it's a different fusion method, they'll call it a different name. I will probably never give this series a rewatch just because it is useless to the total timeline of Dragon Ball. And personally, I just, at this point, I'm going to go with Toriyama originally and just kill it off after End of Z it happened. Like, yes, I love, I would never have liked anime as much as I did if GT didn't exist. But it's just the amount of hatred that series got. And then Super, everyone liked that, but it's just, they introduced a bunch of stuff and never did anything with them. Like, hey, there's all these other universes. Okay, are we going to see them? Oh no, we only see them in tournaments. We only seen maybe 10 people and maybe a few moments in the universe with not exploring it at all. I think the only time we went into a universe was Universe 6. The other ones were just talking to the gods and stuff. So it's weird. So it's just, it's wasting potential. And then, I personally think they should have pushed, while Toriyama was alive, to get the part 2 to Super out, because they could have done a Moro arc by now, because, you could have at least released that. You could have gotten the Granola arc out by now, Yes, we didn't have, we would have to wait if we're trying to do it, but every other anime did this before. This is what Dragon Ball used to do. And it's irritating that they rather do something that makes no sense than continue the story that they already have, Even though I don't care too much for Super, I can't wait for the Moro versus UI or the Ultra Ego fights. Because I think it's Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan 3, Ultra Ego, Ultra Instinct, and then the rest of them have like a weird order. But Super Saiyan God would be next. But anyways, it's just I just don't like it. I think as a Dragon Ball fan, if this never existed, I think I would still be happy. But now that it's starting to it's ripping things that are from my childhood and reusing them in ways that I just don't like because it's it's not me trying to like be a stickler to it, but it's just like the community, they'll dog on me for liking GT, but you can take my material and reuse it. And anyways, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm sorry again for not getting out videos. Leave your hatred comments in the below. I will not respond to you, because if you have hate in your heart because of this video, you should probably get off the internet for a little bit. I was kind of just ranting with this video, and kind of getting my ideas of why this could have just been avoided altogether. Anyways, just if you do agree or have like feedback or proper points, I will like that. But if you're just over here trying to dog on me because I hate Daima and I love GT, or being a biased, leave that out. If you don't, I'll probably just delete it or ban you. I don't need that negativity in this community. But anyways, I'll see you guys. Bye bye.